And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Terrace Restaurant of the Intercontinental Hotel. It is a night of a sober conversation. Is this the Kenya we want? Think about it as you listen to Barrack Muluka and Senator Hassan Omar talking about the recent events that have just plunged this country into major uncertainty. Before we go back to my two guests, there's a call. Dongo from Nairobi is on the line. Dongo, you're live on JKL. Talk to me.
Jeff, how are you doing, Koinange?
Go ahead, Dongo.
Yes, no, I appreciate the conversation you're having, and my colleague, my brother Senator there, Hassan Omar, I'm really enjoying watching him falling over himself, trying to explain some of the inexplicable. And, you know, we must be honest with ourselves as to the political posture that court has taken in recent weeks and months since the return of Baba. The political posture has been to heighten temperatures in the country to increase tension. And this tension and heightened anxiety is at some point going to lead to inspiration of groups like we saw in Mombasa, unraveling and causing chaos in the country. Now, we pledged as a nation never to go back there again after 2007, 2008. But here we are again, allowing irresponsible utterances. And we must be clear, Jeff, the statement about ukiona mwenzako akinyolewa. You know, in Rwanda genocide, the people who are inspiring the killings never said go and kill Tutsis. They said cockroaches. Go and kill cockroaches. There are cockroaches here that need to be finished. So the allegory that we use to inspire people to have a certain feeling must be very, we can see what is being used for. We mustn't be in denial about that, and we mustn't try and sugarcoat it, and some of our politicians are now trying to backtrack and sugarcoat the things that they are saying and doing.
Absolutely.
We know very clearly that Al-shabaab and activities of so-called radicalization and recruitment of Kenyan youth into Al-shabaab, into Somalia, is happening predominantly in coastal areas, but also in other parts of the country, in central and other parts. But this is the taking advantage, the exploitation of despondency and joblessness in the youth, and promising financial rewards by entering this organization. So you can see there's a nexus between what we're saying is Al-shabaab, but local terror networks, local criminal gangs, local people who want to exploit the weaknesses in our societies for whatever gains that we'll be able to use these people once they are trained and returned back to this country. So yes, we must be clear and we must be honest with Kenyans. If we say that we are one Kenya and we want Kenya to be united, let us stop the rhetoric, let us stop the brinksmanship, let us stop the games. Because this is pure games that people are playing, political games with people's lives. If we are responsible leaders, those games must stop. We must be responsible. We must act for the betterment of the Kenyan people in totality. And the rhetoric, by the way, that has been used in Mombasa rallies, at Onoka and even in Uhuru Park, that this is the government of two tribes. That is clear incitement of the public against ethnic incitement against certain communities.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, yeah. Mheshimiwa, I hear you, and you know what? Maybe you need to come on this show so that we talk some more. We'll do that. That's Mheshimiwa Dongo Koinange, MP for Tetu.
Let me tell him two things. First and foremost, let me tell them two things. I don't know why any interpretation. If you believe that what Raila said, for instance, that prepare yourself, kunyolewa, is actually a coded message. That's what Ndungu was trying to insinuate about certain communities either being annihilated or the victimization or killing of another community.
But you don't know what the translation is when it gets to the ground.
I beg to differ. Number one, so I think it's as simple as what was said, and I think what we're doing is we're saying brace yourself on the basis of the activities.
Brace yourself for what? Revolution?
The activities that court is going to undertake.
Brace yourself
Number
for
two,
what?
just a minute. Number two, Barrack, before you intervene. Number two, there's a general argument that is being presented that one area of the one part of the political divide so loves the country so much, more than the other side of the political divide, that you see, let's focus on development, let's focus on this, let's focus on that. I think we are also a very development-conscious coalition. And therefore, to insinuate that there's a way in which we care less about Kenya and other people care more is the whole folly about this whole argument. And I think the opposition is justified to hold the rallies that it does hold, because these are popular avenues provided by the Constitution.
Okay, Barrack.
I think, first of all, the opposition has every right to hold rallies, including the Saba rally. If they want to hold that rally, they have got every right. That's part of the space that this country has been fighting for a very long time. Okay. They must go ahead and have their rallies. But I think also that as they do so, they must also own the pronouncements that they make at those rallies. For example, have they declared that the 7th of July is going to be a national holiday? Mm. Yes, they have. Mm-hmm. Have they told us to stay at home? Yes, they have. Have they told us what they are going to do on that day? They have said they are going to liberate the country. And we don't know what that means. My mother was asking, since she's quite elderly, what do they mean by liberating us when they say the citizens are going out there and we are urging them to come out and liberate the country? They have said, have they not, that they're going to do a march on State House? They have said Uhuru must go. They must own those responsibilities, and they must know that as they are saying those things, and they have those huge throngs, that the other side has got also its throngs, and that they are capable of also mobilizing. And you can imagine what would happen if those two forces met. It would be something titanic. This country needs dialogue. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, and there's no way Jubilee is going to run away from dialogue. That's this grandstanding and saying we won the election, we don't want to talk to you, we have not asked you to assist us. It's the wrong attitude completely.
Let me ask
you, at the same time, yes, they also cannot be standing on rooftops and telling the president that we are going to shave you with broken bottles if you do not provide a platform for dialogue.
Absolutely.
I think mutual respect is of the greatest essence.
And that is not evident right now. Clearly, there's no respect. There's no.
I agree with Barrack to that extent, where the country is highly polarized, and I think some of the sentiments have not been helpful. But that is not to deny the fact that nothing that has been said by code, nothing that has been done by code, is illegal. And I think in popular quests, you know, there are ways in which you galvanize your constituency so that you're able, you know, to go into any engagement with a constituency that believes. And therefore, I think as long as we stick to the ambit of the rule of law and the Constitution, I think just by saying somebody will want to march to State House, that don't mean that person has marched to State House. And I think I'll be opposed to any of those types of marches.
Gentlemen, I've got Ahmed from Isili. He says, Jeff, Saba falls on the 10th day of the holy month of Ramadan, as you know, Senator. Senator Hassan Omar should know that this is the month of soul-searching and reflection. Can he advise Raila Odinga to postpone or call off the whole thing?
Abdurrahman, I'm a Muslim just like you. I believe in Allah, just like you do. You don't have to participate in the activities. Let's not, use emotive arguments. I think even those Muslims within the coalition can elect to stay away from whatever activities. You can elect to continue to be in your sacrifice and prayer. These are discretions that you make. These are judgments, and I think it in no way, in my own judgment, desecrates the sanctity of the holy month of Ramadan. I have done enormous things when I'm fasting. In fact, when I'm fasting, that's the time I work harder. I do things out of the call of that I push my body beyond those bounds, because I don't want anybody to get a perception out there that when I'm fasting, I'm just supposed to sleep around and laze around.
So what are you planning on that day, Senator?
I think there will be a program of what are the intended sabasaba activities. And none of these activities is intended to crystallize any violence. It's well within the democratic space for these activities to take place.
Are you marching on State House?
I think anybody who tries to march to State House will be foolish. And as much as it appear like a popular call, I do not think any leadership in its right mind. If Raila said it today that he recognized the victory by Uhuru Kenyatta, and that Uhuru Kenyatta, they recognized through the election court, that is the Supreme Court. I do not think anybody is trying to challenge the seat of power. What everybody is trying to say is that you need to climb down the ivory tower and stop the grandstanding which Barrack is talking about, so that people can negotiate some of these issues. The country has not moved forward since the election. We are as polarized as we are.
Yeah, but you are as to blame as the other side is.
And I think what has happened is the avenues available to us are far more limited. Far more limited. So I think what happens is, if you talk about going to the National Assembly, look what happened. Just a phone call kept Linturi away. That's the kind of national dialogue that you don't want to subject yourself into, where somebody is in absolute control of a process. You want to be in a framework that I think there is a cordial discussion of issues and broad gentlewoman kind of agreements.
Barrack, let me ask you this.
On the sticking issues.
Barrack, let me ask you this. How can the court leader declare July 7th a public holiday? How does that work? Or maybe you can help us. But Barrack, you go first.
I don't know. I think my brother Hassan here will be better placed. One of the things that I read in that kind of pronouncement is that there seems to be an urge to not only defy, but to, for want of better expression, let me say, overthrow constitutional institutions, and that worries me. I'm reminded that, and remember first of all that I belong to CORD.
Do?
Yes.
I actually didn't know that.
I'm a member of ODM number 229. I got there before this man.
And you were very close. You worked very closely with the former Prime Minister.
Let me answer this question.
Yeah.
That when the former Prime Minister was accepting the verdict of the Supreme Court on the steps of his former office, and my brother Omar Hassan was there, he said that we accept the verdict of the court, but we don't believe that it is a correct verdict. And then came the rider that we have tried to transform and reform this country using the ballot, and we have seen that it has not worked. It has proved impossible. We will go sit back and reflect on alternative options. Okay? So I do not know what these options are, whether they mean overturning constitutional institutions. And if we have a revolution, will this man continue to be a senator, or is it one of the institutions that the revolution is going to sweep away? We need to be told about these things and to understand what this revolution means for us.
What is happening is people peddling fear.
No, but you say things. People are peddling fear. You must learn.
I think you
to
connect
mean, to mean what you say and to say what you mean.
Yes, we mean what we say. And listen. When we say that it's going to be a public holiday, we know
what mandate?
We know. Listen, do you know that there's no mandate? So it means you can still go to work.
No, but you're telling people not to go to work. You're telling people not to go.
What happens is when you know, as jurists, you know, as Kenyans, as Kenyans that the mandate that is there. You see, that's why you declare the fear factor. You continue to insinuate and
but that is what you intend. That's what you intend. When you say don't go to work, you're saying go to work at your own risk, at your own peril. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Let me tell you the truth. What you're doing is to peddle fear. It is to peddle falsities.
Yeah, but you have created it.
I think Raila,
okay,
as
Senator, clear the air for us. Clear the air. Can people go to work?
I think, as I say,
should we go to work?
As I said. What point of that statement did you not understand? Even if Raila declares 7th a public holiday, does it really make it a public holiday? But what we are going to go ahead and do as a coalition is we are going to continue. We are going to have activities a program that we're going to announce that I do not believe will jeopardize anybody's security. It will not whip anybody who wants to go to work, to the nation, to the standard group or to anywhere else. So I think when you try to create the fear factor is where you continue to raise the tensions and animosity in this country.
Let me tell you what's happening. And Senator Omar here is a good man, a good gentleman, and many other people in CORD, including myself, because I'm a member of that fraternity, unless they disown me because of having a different shade of opinion. You see, the problem is that our leader, Raila Odinga, goes to the United States of America. He comes back here one day, and there is a rally in Uhuru Park, across the road from where we are. The instruments of this alliance and the ODM and so on, they have not even sat down to craft the agenda that this is what we are going to do. And so at an emotive moment, he says that this is what we are going to do, and everybody troops right behind. That this democracy that we talk about must also be domesticated and institutionalized in our own forums. That you don't just come up one morning, you are telling all the members of parliament, senators and whoever that follow me, we are going to do rallies across the country. You have not even worked on the agenda, on the messages, and therefore you have my brother Hassan Omar here, Omar Hassan, doing your firefighting and trying to set the record right, and tomorrow morning they are going to say another one. They need to go back and sit down.
When Raila came,
yes,
he met a prepared set of facts and a speech that was
so all that was outlined.
All of that.
Were they owned by CORD before he?
But let me tell you
which organs?
It was by the CORD secretary.
Senator,
we all participated.
He gave the government 60 days. Then remember, he gave them 60 days, and then he switched it to July 7th.
I think what happened is he was given the speech that he was supposed to read. The speech was a negotiated document that was crafted by the CORD secretariat. And you know about
some CORD MPs and senators and governors have said that they don't know about this thing. It's strange to them.
Gentlemen,
don't you need to bring them on board before you start selling it to Kenya?
Absolutely. Gentlemen, we've got to take a break, got to pay some bills. We'll continue this conversation. And let me ask you, coming up, could there be some arrests, some imminent arrests before July 7th? What do you think? Worst case scenario. Your thoughts, gentlemen. Think about that as we go into break. We're asking the question, is this the Kenya you want? Keep tweeting at Barrack M, at Hassan Omar H, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. We're talking about this nation we call Kenya. Are you a part of it, or are you on the outside looking in?